Ryuko and Satsuki gear up for the final battle against Ragyo, in my review of Kill La Kill, Episode 23. Humanity prepares for its final battle against the subjugation of the life fibers. We have Satsuki and Ryuko teaming up against her evil mother. We have Mako in her badass Goku uniform. All the Elite Four members get some brand new uniforms this week, which are a perfect combination of their old Goku uniforms and their nudist beach uniforms. There's also a great tease at the very end of the episode for a final battle, and this whole episode itself was just a full package. It had no momentum lost. It immediately opened up with action, and it ended with action. It never stopped. This week's episode, again, just like the rest of the series, looked absolutely fantastic. The whole battle against Ragyo was definitely one of the highlights this week, but honestly, for me, the Elite Four is what really sort of sold it for me. I love watching these guys in action, especially when they all go through their transformation sequence at the very first time. And all of their uniforms don't look too different, but like I said, it's sort of like a combination of their nudist beach and their Goku uniforms, because you see a lot more skin, but there's also some other drastic things. Like, first and foremost, there's Sanagiyama's, which basically looks really similar to his nudist beach uniform. In fact, when he's actually fighting against Ragyo in this episode, he actually removes his scarf and he's actually using his eyes again, because he's got to be really serious with this. And apparently it goes in line with his abilities, which allow him to see everything now. Just accept it for what it is. This show is just a lot of fun and crazy. Everybody just looks really cool, especially when they're combining all of their abilities together, fighting against all of the big life fiber monsters. And even Nudist Beach gets to do a lot of cool things this week, especially with the big ship, the SS Naked Sun, which I just can't help but continue to make the comparisons to the Gurren Lagann ship, because it kind of does a similar thing this week where they launch it into the air and it literally slices right through the original life fiber and then slams right into Hanoji Academy. But still, it's a really, really great scene, and, you know, everything here just shows, like, how big everything's getting. There's, like, a whole new scale. In fact, there was this scene where the original life fiber is, like, whizzing, like, right past the SS Naked Sun, and it's moving so fast that it causes the ship to just jump up into the air with all the waves. And, Mako, you know, I didn't expect her to do anything too badass. I sort of figured she was going to be played for laughs, and she was this week. You know, there was a scene where she was fighting against some of the life fiber creatures while her mother was feeding her at the same time. She would take a bite, kick them away, take a bite, punch them in the face, take a bite, kick them in the balls. You know, it kept going and going and going, but it was still really funny. And there was this one scene at the very beginning where she actually took 999,000 of those big suction weapons and used them. And it was hilarious. She was totally one-upping Gamagori, who used 9 of them in last week's episode. But other than that, just other little moments. I loved when Ryuko and Satsuki were actually teaming up against Ragyo, and they had that one sneak attack where it looked like Ryuko was cut in half, and then she sort of reformed when she went underneath and attacked Ragyo from behind. It was really awesome, and even Ragyo has, like, a few new weapons this week. She has these 2 swords that are made out of hardened life fibers, and she uses them, and apparently that's where the scissor blades came from. One of my favorite things about this week's episode was also the ending credits, which was really awesome. Make sure to watch it all the way through, because about halfway, Nui actually hijacks it. She appears suddenly in the corner of the screen and rips it away, and then they start showing us this scene where Ragyo actually gets her own personal outfit, and this is what Nui's been working on this entire time. And because Ragyo is so satisfied with her work, she actually gives Nui some brand new hands, so you just know she's going to fight again and probably be defeated in a really awesome, badass way. But the other thing, what's really cool about this is she's got a brand new uniform, and it's called the Shinra Koketsu. It looks like this big robe of sorts, and she puts it on at the very end and begins to immediately intimidate Satsuki and Ryuko with this big, weird, like, aura that looks like a big eyeball behind her. It looks really freaky and awesome. But otherwise, kick-ass episode here. The action was completely on point. All of it was very fluid. I especially really loved this one scene where Ryuko and Satsuki and Ragyo were, like, flying across the water, like they were skidding across the top of it, and they were both attacking her at the same time by, like, spinning around, and little by little, Ragyo was just getting ready to knock them back, and it was really well done, and it just got me really pumped up watching it. There were a lot of scenes like that this week. Just everything was gorgeously animated, all the animation was great, all the colors were good, all the music cues were just perfect every single time they pop up. There was this one scene that was just like, they pulled right straight out of Gurren Lagann. It just reminded me of it so much. It was the scene where Ryuko was attacking, like, the core of the original life fiber with both of her swords, and then the big ship came in from behind. like I said, that already reminds me of Gurren Lagann, but the fact that while that was happening, they had the music kick in, and you just know, like, as soon as that music is going to start, you know the good guys are going to start winning. But other than that, other than just like all the cool action and stuff, there's a lot of great comedy this week, especially from Mako, the greatest sidekick character of all anime history. I especially remember this one scene where she was eating a lot of food and her stomach got really big, and over the course of this dialogue scene, she started to make her stomach shrink little by little by little, and you can see that her little brother Mataro is just watching with amazement as this is all happening and no one else is noticing. It's little moments like that that makes this series such a gem and such an enjoyable series to rewatch. So, loved this episode. I am amped for the final episode of the series. If it is next week, or maybe it's after that, or maybe there's a few more, I don't know. But if it is the final episode, there's a good chance I'm going to do a reaction to it, so stay tuned for that. But otherwise, that concludes this review. I thought it was awesome on pretty much all fronts. 10 out of 10 for me. Check it out. Best anime in the last couple years, guys. Kicks ass. And so, if you guys had a chance to check out this week's episode of Kill La Kill, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about this week's episode. Did you have any favorite moments, and do you have any predictions for the finale of Kill La Kill? Remember, guys, before you leave, make sure to hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. It's one of the easiest ways to support our videos, and it really helps us out a lot. And you can subscribe to our channel so you can see all of our latest videos and content, and you can check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links to both of those in the description box below. So, I'll see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.